You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio. I am your host, Dustin McAdams. Thank you, as always, for taking some time out of your day to join me. Our focus today is on networking and building relationships. As many of you may know, when I'm not talking to you on this show, I run Pupjoy. Pupjoy is an e-commerce site and subscription box service for dogs. We deliver dog parents everything from treats and toys to things they wear, things for the home. And what makes us a little unique is we work directly with all of our supplier partners instead of going through distributor middlemen. And we end up building a lot of relationships as a result. And for us, great relationships are really critical to our business, as I'm sure they are for many of yours. And part of that relationship building process for us is going to big trade show events like Global Pet or Super Zoo or P3 here in Chicago. And I got to say, going to these shows is fun. You get a chance to see a lot of new, really cool stuff. It's kind of like a big shopping trip if you're a dog geek like me. But it's also a lot to take in at once. The shows are really big. I end up shaking a lot of hands. I get a lot of business cards, but it's rare that I get much time to really get to know people, at least at the shows themselves. So a couple months ago, one of my supplier partners, a guy I like and trust a lot, pitched me on a new trade show concept. And I was like, really, another trade show? But he talked me into it. He said, sort of like speed dating for buyers like you and sellers like me. It's a couple days down in Florida, meetings in comfortable hotel suites, a chance for us to grab a couple dinners and drinks together. So I gave it a shot. And honestly, I largely said yes at the time because he and a couple of my other current partners were going to be there, and it was a really good opportunity to spend some one-on-one time with them, and it was all expense paid. It was great on that front. They covered everything for me as a buyer, and they coordinated it extremely well. The flights were booked for me, cars to and from the airport. Felt like they really took care of me. I ended up stepping away from the show really impressed with the event, far more than I thought I would be. It was a casual event, it was relatively informal, and most importantly for me, it was effective. I did have an opportunity to spend some really good quality time with some existing partners, and that was very helpful, but I also developed some new relationships. Not just picking up suppliers, though we did gain a few, but actually developing relationships with some of these folks. So that's what we're going to talk about today, a new model for building relationships in the pet industry. And I've invited the guy who started it to join us. He's Mike Sessoms, one of the founders of Pet Shop Events, the most unique trade show format in our industry. You can find Mike online at petshopevents.com or on Facebook at Pet Shop Events. We're going to head to a quick break, but we'll be right back with Mike after these messages.
You know that feeling when you go to clean the litter box and it's a complete disaster? Yeah, we've got you covered. Introducing World's Best Cat Litter Zero Mess, the advanced litter that gives you 2 times better clumping and more odor control with less litter. Zero Mess combines the concentrated power of corn with super absorbent plant fibers. Translation, scoop once and you're done. Find it at a pet store near you and save $2. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio. With us now is Mike Sessoms, one of the founders of Pet Shop Events, speed dating for buyers and sellers in the pet industry. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Dustin, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell us what it is. What is Pet Shop Events?
So Pet Shop Events is a very unique, like you mentioned, a very unique trade show, basically speed dating. So what we do is we wanted to bring an alternative atmosphere for doing business, conducive to doing business for both buyers and sellers in the pet industry, different than your typical convention hall style booth trade shows. The booth shows are great. We go to them ourselves. But again, we wanted to bring a different scenario for people to do commerce with each other. So what we do is we bring in all direct manufacturers in the pet industry, and they set up in their luxury hotel room suite. And it's a very exclusive invite only. It's all volume driven. This is a very productive trade show, and it's not the hustle and bustle of some of the other scenarios out there of doing business. This is definitely a unique experience for both buyer and manufacturers. For the manufacturers, it's nice because they get that private one-on-one time with their buyers to build those relationships. For the buyers, it's nice because they get to see a lot of hot new products and also have that quality one-on-one time, captive audience, and they get to really know the product line. More importantly, again, the person and the company that they're dealing with and building those relationships. So it's kind of a fun thing we have going on over here.
Yeah, so I can attest from being there. One, the food was good. I agree with you on that, which was nice. It was a nice benefit. There is certainly a distinct difference between going to big trade show events, and they certainly have their value. But you, as a participant with those, as a buyer in my case, you come out of it almost in a dizzying exhaustion because you're just taking so much in such a short period of time. Certainly, the format of yours was very different. A lot of the focus there was on sitting down, having a drink, having dinner, sitting out on I met with a few folks out on a balcony of one of the hotel rooms after we were done, just spending time talking to people and getting to know them, which is something I thought it was really interesting about your format, because I've never been able to have that experience at the big trade show events, whether it's been my experience in the pet industry or I was in the automotive industry on the agency side before that and had similar type events. It's certainly, the big ones are good because they get a lot of people. You get to see everything that's cool and new out there. But I think what you guys are doing it's unique. And it's part of the reason I wanted to have you on. So I introduced you as a bit of a speed dating concept for buyers and sellers, which I thought was a good analogy when my friend put it to me that way. But you also talked about a bit of a matchmaker scenario. So when you're trying to match up, buyers like me and sellers like my friend who introduced me to it, how do you find the people and how do you try to figure out who's a good match?
Well, we really do a lot of research. We attend some of the shows ourselves. We make a lot of phone calls, a lot of phone calls, actually.
Of course.
And this is kind of, as I mentioned earlier, it's a volume game for our trade shows. We try to pair mid-level, high-volume buyers together with direct manufacturers. So it's really beneficial for the buyers to build those relationships. So a lot of our manufacturers, we have a buyer referral program that we offer to our manufacturers, part of the package deal with our events. And then we also ask all of our buyers on who they'd like to meet with, because we always try to bring hot new products for our buyers, some hot new brands that aren't out there, like some of the existing brands that have been around for a long time. So we try to bring them new products to view. We've been doing a lot of research for quite a while in the pet industry and dealing with a lot of the manufacturers. We have a top buyer referral program that we offer for our exhibitors that's all packaged in with the event that we run, where they can bring in any specific buyers they want to meet with. We also reach out to all of our buyers, and they give us suggestions as well as who they'd like to meet with. And of course, just having gone to the shows over the last handful of years that we've got to know some of the manufacturers and the buyers out there from just making the large amount of phone calls and research that we've done over the time here. So that's some of the ways that we source out our new attendees.
Gotcha. So I saw in your bio background, Mike, you started your entrepreneurial career buying and selling candy bars in grade school. I had a very similar experience when I was a kid of doing it with bubblegum, so we're kindred spirits on that. But fast forward in a couple of years, where did the idea come from to put this trade show format together, and why the pet industry? How'd you get started?
Well, I worked for a wholesale import manufacturer distributor for almost 20 years, and I left there about 4 years ago, and I started my own import distribution company. I left on good terms with them, and ended up selling that company about 6 months ago or so. But in the meantime, I was called and offered a partnership during my shortly after I left the previous employer, and I used to attend these events, these exact format of events in a different industry, and my partners used to run the logistics for it. So they ended up offering me partnership, and it came together. They offered me partnership because I knew the format, and they knew I loved the format, and I've always been a huge fan of this format of trade show because it's, again, I believe the most productive format of show on the market. So that's kind of how it came to be. They offered me partnership. We went together, and then we started in a different industry, actually. Between my partners, our sister company, and ourselves, we do we're upwards of close to 25 shows a year at this point in different industries. They've been doing it for over a decade now, and I started in with them about 4 years ago, like I mentioned, and we started with a different industry, the smoke shop industry, and then we branched off into the vape industry and now the pet industry. And the pet industry came to be because we were looking at new industries to branch off into, and we're all pet lovers. I mean, I bring Marvin, my puppy, with me every day to work, and he's our office dog. He's a big 100-pound black lab, and he still thinks he's a lap dog, but that's okay. So we figured what a better industry to go into than the pet industry. You know, we're all animal lovers, and it just seemed like a good fit. So we ended up digging into that, and that's how it came to be.
Yeah, and certainly the pet industry, big, healthy industry, a lot of manufacturers cropping up, a lot of really good new ones. Have you guys seen much in terms of the performance and output of shows? Have you seen similar results with the pet industry as you have in others?
Yeah, well, the pet industry is very large, and we found that it's growing exponentially, and even in other countries where middle class is becoming more prevalent than before, and it's really just a exploding industry, even more so than some of the other industries we're already in. So it was a good avenue, we felt, for us, because again, we love the pet industry. You know, we really want to embrace this industry moving forward and see what happens with it.
Cool. So we're going to take a quick break, Mike. We're going to take a few messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back to talk a little more with you.
Hanukkah, the German Shepherd that I rescued, was stinky, skinny, and scrawny, full of skin rashes and scratching. And I started feeding Hanukkah Dynavite, and he became such a happier, itch-free, stink-free dog that I dug deeper into the website.
DINOVITE.com.
What if, in addition to Dynavite, we do the raw beef and the egg diet and see what happens? Forget all these 50-pound bags of formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways. This dog's as close to a wolf as you can get. They're carnivores. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynavite and Super Omega on top of it, it just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit. It's unbelievable. Hey, if you're thinking about rescuing a dog, you got to start them out on Dynavite. DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Dana Humphrey, the founder of Whitegate PR. We have been specializing in PR and marketing in the pet industry for over 10 years. If you have a pet product or service you would like to promote, give us a call. We can help create awareness for your brand on TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, and blogs. Feel free to reach me directly at 619-414-9307 or learn more on our website at whitegatepr.com or follow us on Facebook.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
All right, we are back with Mike Sessoms, talking about a unique trade show format, sort of the speed dating model in the pet industry. So, Mike, when we cut off, you were talking about how you got started. I'm curious, as you've launched into the pet industry, specifically, what have you seen as the biggest challenges?
Some of the biggest challenges we have are the hurdles with a lot of people not understanding the format, really, because it's new to the pet industry. A lot of people are intimidated. They're not quite sure what it's all about. That's why I'm glad you had me on, so we could really explain what it is exactly we do. It's really a laid-back, relaxed atmosphere. You know, we've had some scenarios where buyers specifically think that it might be a high-pressure sale or they're cornered or trapped, and that's not it at all. It's actually the exact opposite.
I would agree.
So it's really, like I said, it's a fun atmosphere. It's really conducive to doing business. You know, it's relaxed, laid back. Again, we're sitting on couches and we're talking business and we're just having a good time and eating dinner together and breakfast together and lunch together. You know, there's a lot of other benefits to our shows because we also provide detailed business profiles to all the attendees. So all the buyers receive a business profile on the manufacturer's prior to the event, as well as vice versa. So that way everybody can do their homework on each other before they meet, because the more prepared you are for each meeting, the more successful the show you're going to have.
I did find that was very helpful, especially in a first event. You guys did a really good job at profiling me on the folks I was going to meet with, and vice versa. When I came into the room, people who knew who we were and knew how to speak to the areas that were important to us, which I thought in terms of the efficiency of the show or just the event itself, that was very helpful. So as you guys are looking at how you constantly improve this, what are some of the big areas of feedback that you're getting from buyers like me and sellers on the other side?
Well, everybody really tends to thoroughly enjoy the events. We've had some suggestions on different things we can do. And again, we've been doing this for over a decade now between our sister company and ourselves, and we do quite a few shows. So we really have this down to a well-oiled machine at this point. However, we're always trying to improve, always. So whether it's adding a picture of the attendee to the business profile, or changing a venue, or even changing the meals at some of the different events, so it's some minor changes up to major changes. So, we're always looking to improve our events, obviously.
What's the next upcoming event?
The next upcoming event is happening June 4th through 6th out in beautiful Park City, Utah. We host a lot of events out in Utah at this particular resort. It's absolutely beautiful resort. It's one of my favorites, and I travel quite a bit. We utilize that resort quite often, actually. Currently, we do 3 shows a year in the pet industry at the moment, and it seems to be working out pretty well so far.
So 3 a year. One was just a couple months ago, one upcoming in Park City. What's the next one scheduled after that?
The next one after that is going to be, it's going to be October 22nd through the 24th down in Florida, back in Florida again.
Awesome. And if you got folks listening, either buyers or sellers, who are interested and want to get involved, what's the best way to reach out to you? What's the best way for them to figure out if they're a good fit?
Well, they can reach out to us over the phone. My number is 877-220-9502, extension 700. They can contact us through our website, petshopevents.com. There's a contact button on there. You can reach out to us via email. My email is mike@petshopevents.com. We also have a YouTube channel with a whole slew of short video testimonials from our attendees on both exhibitors and buyers, so you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So it's pretty cool. We have quite a few videos on there. They're only 30 seconds to minute long videos, so you can get an idea from the attendees and their experiences with our event.
Yes, I would be one of the horses in that case.
Awesome.
So this may be the favorite part for potential buyers. What's the cost?
Oh, well, that is the best part for the buyers. For the buyers, the show is absolutely 100% free. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what's the catch? Well, there is no catch. It's a very exclusive invite-only show. It's very small by design, very intimate setting. But again, casual, relaxed, and laid back. We cover pet shop events. We cover airfare, hotel room, meals, and transportation to and from the airport for our invited guests. So it's a really great opportunity for a buyer looking to source out some new products, some hot new products, and really, more importantly, build relationships with both existing exhibitors that they've already been dealing with and new manufacturers that they might not be on their radar quite yet. So it's a great scenario, and it's all for free. So it's really a win-win situation.
Awesome. I would personally say, after attending one of these, if you're someone who you think has a business where this may be a benefit, check it out. I do think it's an interesting format, and I think it's a really good one for some folks. So with that, Mike, we are unfortunately out of time, but I want to thank you very much. And I want to give you an opportunity to once again quickly reiterate your contact information for everybody.
Sure. Again, the email is mike@petshopevents.com. Number is 877-220-9502. I'm at extension 700. Or you can also contact us through our website, petshopevents.com. There's a contact button on there. And again, you can also go to check us out on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pet Shop Events, as well as our YouTube channel.
All right. Thanks, man.
Dustin, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And folks, as always, if you have any questions for me, you can reach me at dustin@pupjoy.com. That's PUPJOY.com. At PupJoy on all major social media and online at pupjoy.com. So, my friends, happy tales to you until we meet again.
Let's Talk Pets. every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.